quick question here. So you guys are going from Raven to a new coach. Talk to us about Talmadge a little bit.
Talmadge is definitely different from Raven. I think Talmadge is way better of a vibe coach. Like he's way better at keeping the team vibes up. He's always positive. Keeps everyone kind of like emotionally stable. Like if one of us is raging too hard, he'll calm us down. Raven was really good at that at the start, but I feel like towards the end he started to just get like pissed off when we were losing. But now like at the start, Raven was like our therapist, right? Kept Hal sane, but towards the end it was like he was just getting pissed off. He's like, man, we're trash. Like Talmadge just kind of like reminds me of how Raven was at the start. Keeps everyone happy, and as far as like strategy goes, he's pretty dang helpful. What he says is right like 90% of the time, and he's really good at clearing the air and like what we need to work on. Also good at like kind of like directing team discussions. Like if we're talking about the game, he's always bringing up what things we need to talk about, what we need to work on, and he kind of just keeps us talking to each other, like keeps discussion flowing, which I think is really important. Having that fourth voice when your team is trying to work on something is just so helpful, and I think Talmadge is really good for that. And yeah, he's great. He's been great to have so far.
On a skill level of coaching, right? Do you think he's similar to Raven? Because Raven, I called him the Bill Belichick of Apex coaches. Where do you think Talmadge sort of stacks on that?
I think Raven, like when we first had Raven, like the first like few months we had him, he was just like God coach, like uncomparable to anybody else. I feel like towards the end he fell off a bit. I think we all fell off a little bit. I'd say Talmadge and Raven, like Raven towards the end of when we had him versus Talmadge now, I think they're pretty similar. So I'd say right
Nice.
now Raven and Talmadge are somewhat similar. Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't rank one. Maybe Raven's a little bit ahead of Talmadge right now, but I do feel like Raven lost a bit of passion towards the end, and I just think that like as of now they're not far apart. Raven and Talmadge.
You see what Evan said about you and follow out some Snipes podcast? Yeah, I did. I'm actually gonna talk about that. Yeah, so Evan said that I was like a god coach at the beginning when I joined the team, and then I started getting mad and fell off. But like the part that he failed to mention is that okay, first of all, I thought that was like incredibly disrespectful because no one has talked bad about him. But then the same thing would happen after a while, like after maybe a week or a few days, it would be better. We'd lock it in, and then after that, the same thing would happen where there was no intensity, there was no energy, and so you can imagine that when I feel like when I feel like some players don't have passion or energy or motivation, and I bring it up, and then I'm reassured that it's gonna change and that they're gonna take initiative and have passion, and then it doesn't change and that happens multiple times, you can understand why someone would get frustrated. So I had to deal with some players just not being honest about how they actually felt about their drive. And if he wants to call that me falling off, sure, whatever, I'll take it. Maybe I could have dealt with it better. But if anyone fell off, the man wasn't playing the game. There is no reason at the highest level the standards should be even to have conversations about even just playing the game, booting up the game. Like, do you think anyone on Dark Zero has to be told to play the game? No. No one on Dark Zero ever has to be told to play the game, to boot up the game outside of scrims. So why is that a conversation that we had to bring up? And you can tell, the actions didn't line up with the words. The actions, because you could just look at streaming patterns. If streaming and playing was down, just look at objective facts, right? The passion was clearly not there, and my intuition, my gut was right, and I brought it up, and I kept being reassured that I was going to change, and then it kept not changing. So yeah, after a while, you get frustrated, you get mad. What am I supposed to do? I keep getting reassured that it's going to change, and then it doesn't. It's crazy. What am I supposed to do if players don't take initiative and don't show any passion and don't show any energy? What am I supposed to do as a coach? I'm not a head coach, so I can't threaten them with their position on the team. I can't be like, hey, if you don't pick up the slack, you're off the team or you're benched. I can't do that because I don't have to control the roster. So what am I supposed to do? After a while, I tried. I tried. But after a while, there's nothing I can do. And so I just kind of like got a little complacent because my energy wasn't being reciprocated. But yeah, that's why I felt like jaded towards the end of it all. But at the same time, like Evan's a phenomenal player. Like there's no reason he can't get back to the top. But I just felt like it was pretty disrespectful and unfair for him to bring that up and not be self-aware as to the fact that he wasn't playing the game sometimes at some points, and we had to have conversations about that. And and he was not being totally honest about me. Like, I found out that he didn't want to, that he fucking hated Apex and was even considering quitting, like, literally the day of finals last LAN. Like, I wasn't even told that by him. Like, no one even told me. I figured fucking overheard it. And so a player isn't telling me how they feel the entire time for 8 months and reassuring me. What am I supposed to do? But yeah, like I said, if Evan's actually playing the game and being passionate, like, he's one of the best in the world. But I just felt like it was a little dishonest and like unfair to say that and not like be self-aware about that. If like, what am I supposed to do as a coach if players aren't taking initiative and showing passion? Why exposing this? Because he decided to publicly say that I like fell off and lost passion and stuff. So I have to sort of defend myself. It's a bad look. It's not just like some random person saying this. And I mean, I had a feeling that was going to happen after champs, because it's like hard to motivate yourself getting first, second, first, right? Like, I understood that. Like, that's not the problem I had. I can't, it's hard to coach when, players aren't being honest about how they feel about their drive. But anyways, like I said, I don't know why he decided to bring that up. We could have all just lived with the fact that we went first, second, first, and not have said anything. It was pretty immature. In my opinion, Hal lost his passion. He had other options, so he didn't try enough to hold the team. No, Hal has never lost passion. Like, that's one thing that you can rely on with Hal. You never have to tell him to play the game. You never have to tell him to boot up the game. As much as, sometimes Hal and I butted heads, but I could always rely on Hal playing the game no matter what. Didn't Hal tell you guys he was leaving was bad for reps in E? No, that's not a good reason, in my opinion. I don't think anyone's used an excuse, but that should never be like a reason to not try and just give up. I don't think that had honestly much to do with it, to be honest, because I think that complacency from like a lot of us just was there from before that. Winner's tilt. Loki, if your teammate says he might leave, wouldn't you try harder? You'd think. You think Hal, Zero, and Jed can pull it off? Yeah, of course, yeah. Obviously, they're insane, yeah. Bro, I don't want to read all this. What is winner's tilt? Okay. Winning over long extended periods of time, it also causes us to not play up to our best. Yeah, of course. No, I'm aware of this. Like, I literally brought this up after champs for the team. Like 2 or 3 weeks into preseason after champs, when we were like scrimming Olympus and stuff, I literally was like, yo guys, it does not seem like we fucking have like passion right now. Like, I want to be part of the greats, like compared to Faker and shit. Like, I understand that it's hard to motivate ourselves after we went first, second, first, but you need to like want to be so fucking good that you're getting compared to, Faker and shit. I literally brought it up. This is a real conversation I had with him. I was like, I understand that winner's tilt is a real thing. Like, are you guys, I literally asked him, are you guys like still passionate about this? Like, do you still want to do this? Do you guys want to, like, if not, you need to tell me. And maybe, the lack of passion wasn't apparent at the time, but like, yeah, these are conversations I had. I prompted them. It's just really hard to stay that good at that level, McTwist. No, every time I had those conversations, like I said, I got reassurance that, oh, you're right, let's lock it in, But like I said, like, Hal, that was never an issue with Hal. Like, Hal was always passionate. Like, passion was always there with Hal. Like, that's never a concern I have with Hal.